The following is a presentation of iRacing.com motorsport simulations on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Welcome sim racing fans, and thank you for joining us here in the second race of the first round in SegPay Truck Series Chase for the Championship. This week the drivers will test their luck here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the half-mile tri-oval. There's quite a bit of a difference we have between last week's race and this week's race. 2 weeks ago we were at New Hampshire, which is an extremely flat track. This week we're at the high banking. Tonight joining you is Kelly Dahl, Daniel Eberhardt, and in the booth, as always, getting the shots for you, Cisco Scaramuza. Daniel, what do you think these drivers are going to be dealing with going from that flat track to the high banks of Las Vegas?
Well, the first thing they're going to be dealing with tonight is there's in turn 1 and 2, you're going to be around on the outside, and 3 and 4, you run on the bottom. So that's going to be two different. You got 4 corners here, and you go into the corners here 2 different ways. So you're going to be on the outside in 1 and 2, and then the inside in 3 and 4. And the thing they're going to be fighting all night, I think, is going to be kind of a loose truck. 3 and 4, it's kind of it really never shows in the game or in the sim. Actually, I might say that it's a little bit tighter to me personally. It's where you go through the corner, it's just a little bit looser in 3 and 4, and you round the corner on the outside in 1 and 2, and people are going to be getting up in the wall, so you're going to have to be watching out for people up in the wall. But it's a long race. It's 100 laps. It's a 1.5-mile racetrack, so I'm expecting 2 to 3 pit stops tonight, Kelly.
Yes, and last time we were at a tri-oval like this, we saw a lot of drivers get into that wall on the outside coming off of turn 4, and as I agree with you, I think we're going to see it quite a bit tonight. So I think one of the keys for these drivers tonight is definitely to get that fast run off of turn number 4, but really keep it low and not get into the wall.
Yeah, and the thing about it is you're coming in here, and Byron Daly was your winner last week or 2 weeks ago, I might say, at New Hampshire, and that locks him on to the next round. So that's a good thing because you got Vegas this week, which we're at, and then you got Talladega. So looking at the chase grid, these guys need to get up on the wheel now, knowing that a pro driver, Byron Daly, is actually leading them into the next round.
And before we can get to racing, we are going to go down trackside for tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
And thanks to the virtual Thunderbirds for that great flyover there tonight. As the qualifying and practice clock strikes 0 and the field gets set to hit the grid for tonight's event, we will rack them and stack them, deal the cards out, and we'll look at our starting lineup for tonight's race. Starting on pole, nearly tied with Bentley Glazer, will be Alex Bergeron rolling off on the inside. Bentley Glazer, as I said, nearly tied to this. They had to go to the 30.913 for both drivers, so not even showing the sim how much of a difference we got here. Rolling off in third, we'll have Logan Clampett, just 4/1000ths of a second behind these guys. In fourth, JD Laird, and in fifth will be Alan Cryer.
Rolling off sixth will be Chad Coleman in the 20 Toyota Tundra. Rolling off seventh is going to be the Northern Tool Chevrolet of Tommy Ryan. Rolling off eighth, Greg McKinney. Rolling off ninth, Tony Mond. Rolling off 10th is Doy Woods.
And starting in 11th will be Larry Pace. In 12th, the 19 of Tyler Dalton. Rolling off in 13th, the 21 of Paul Nicholas Cooper. And in 14th, Jeff Hollingsworth. Rounding out your top 15 will be Seth Howdy.
In 16th, the proud owner, the proud guy that puts on this SegPay series is Garrett Smithley, one who sponsors the series. 17th is Jake Simmons. 18th, Tyler King. 19th, Stephen O'Rourke. 20th is EJ O'Rourke. That's going to be your first provisional starter of the night. And then you have 21st is Richard Beasley. 22nd is Ray Rittenauer. 23rd, Justin Weaver. Cody Welker, 24th. Rich Jett, 25th. And 26th is John Wilco. And them are your provisional starters for the rest of the field. And we finally got Andy Kessler in the booth. Andy?
Yeah, that's right. It's looking forward to chase race number 2 here tonight. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a fantastic venue for some truck racing, guys. I know you guys been on this track yourselves, racing these trucks many a times, and it's one of those places I like as far as racing because you can see a lot of different grooves. You'll see guys high, guys low. It's a lot of fun to watch these guys go around this place here tonight.
Oh yeah, the progressive banking really gives us that multiple line here. So as we go down for tonight's track preview presented by Garrett Smithley Racing, this mile-and-a-half long track opened 20 years ago in 1996 and has produced some exciting racing ever since. The tri-oval features progressive banking ranging from 12 to 20 degrees, and it's quite the change from that flat track we raced at 2 weeks ago at New Hampshire.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. New Hampshire, definitely a totally different story than what we're going to see here tonight. Daniel, as a driver, though, what's the way that you got to drive this race? Is it flat out the whole time? Is this the type of place that we're going to see guys maybe conserve their stuff in the first 10 to 15 laps, and all of a sudden you're going to see some of these guys maybe mid-pack start working their way into the top 10?
I think it's going to be one of them races where you'll have one guy that goes out there and leads most of the race. It's really hard to pass here once the tires get worn off, and definitely once you go up to the outside lane in 1 and 2, it's one of them places that you're going to have to just fight your whole race. And I think you're going to see a lot of comers and goers also in this race. Racetrack really, it's not really a worn out surface, but it's one of them surfaces that really eat up your right front.
It definitely is. We'll definitely keep an eye on tire wear over the course of the night. See how these guys use their pit strategy to their advantage as well. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, it's the Blackjack 150 from Las Vegas. Welcome everyone to LSRTV's coverage of the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series as Alex Bergeron now gets set to see the green flag, and the green flag will wave, and he will waste no time now to the throttle. He'll pull out a couple truck length lead right now over Bentley Glazer. Great qualifying by both of those drivers. But Logan Clampett, one of those guys we're going to have to keep an eye on all night. Always fast in the trucks whenever he does make a start in this series. And right now, he's able to take that second spot away now off turn 2.
Yeah, that was a fantastic jump from Logan Clampett. Now it looks like Bentley Glazer, he's just stuck on that outside. He's now going to maybe lose a spot to JD Laird. He's down just on that inside and getting a better line through turns 3 and 4 there, and I think he will clear him. And I think the 36 might have just gone into the wall, so he's definitely not starting his night off right.
Little slip up into the wall right there, maybe from that 36 of Bentley Glazer. That is something these guys will have to keep an eye on all the course of the night, especially off turn 2 as well. Some of these guys running that low line, it tends to push coming off these corners, especially when that tire wear starts to come into play in this race as well. Top 2, though, separated by quite a bit. Logan Clampett starting to flex his muscles right now as he come off of turn number 4. He closed that gap to about half a trunk length now lead over to Alex Bergeron. Alex Bergeron trying to hang on to it. It's not going to be too much longer from now, though. I think that 44 machine's definitely on the move there, Daniel.
Yeah, the 44 is on the move, and he had a great night last night in the DWC race. He finished third there, and he's looking for more tonight. He wants to look down to the inside. He's not going to really put it there. I thought he was going into 3 and 4, but now look at that well of a run he gets off of 4 right here. He's going to look right to the inside of Alex Bergeron down the front straightaway, and I think we're going to have a new leader here pretty soon.
Yeah, he's all the way down to the apron there through the tri-oval.
Yeah, you're going to see guys do that a lot here, especially at this racetrack. That's one of the things we'll keep an eye on the front straightaway. Try to basically cut the track a little bit shorter, try to gain some speed, gain some distance on those guys who are chasing, or even try to separate themselves just a bit more. So a brand new leader now here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Logan Clampett to the top spot. Alex Bergeron will hang on to second. But J.D. Laird in that 23 has been showing some speed here as of the last few laps, because he was actually separated from the top 2 quite a bit, but it looks like he's found his groove right now, and he finds himself now in this fight for that top spot as they run. Pretty good battles going on all throughout the field. How about inside the top 10 right now? How about that 92 Tony Monge and the 24 of Greg McKinney? Those guys were racing almost 3 wide for a couple laps ago while that battle for the lead was shaping up, and right now you see that 24 Greg McKinney trying to take that spot away. Gets a little loose though on the bottom there. It's going to be something these guys are going to have to keep an eye on too as well here over the course of the night, and he'll unfortunately not get that spot and now have to come into the fight with Paul Cooper.
Yeah, he definitely lost a lot of momentum on that little slip up around the corner, and now he's going to try running that high line around turn 1 and 2, and he did lose some ground in the middle of the corner of the 21, but he gets a bit of a momentum coming off that corner. As we said, we've got a lot of progressive banking here, so he gets a bit more grip on that high side, and we'll also get a bit of a better launch on the exit of the corner. But I think he's finally getting back into his groove, shaking off that little slip up he had last lap and getting back up to speed.
He definitely is getting back up, at least holding on to that position he currently holds at the moment. Logan Clampett, though, he got the lead, but hasn't really surrendered too much time right now. Just a truck length separating the top 2 now. J.D. Laird kind of falling off just a little bit here. Bentley Glazer, though, as it looks like he's found his spot there in that 4th spot after starting on the outside of the front row. Chad Coleman, a good qualifying effort for him tonight in that 20 truck. He's right there currently in that 5th spot, up 1 so far since the start of this race. So a bunch of good names up in the front of this field here tonight, looking for the opportunity to possibly get that win, to solidify themselves in the next round of the chase, which obviously in a couple weeks' time will happen. And once we go to Talladega, of course, next week, which that should be a lot of fun. We all know what type of wild card that race that can be on any given night as well. The battle for the lead, though, it's starting to close in just a little bit here. Alex Bergeron with a great run through 3 and 4. He's right there in that back bumper now, heading back at 1.
Yeah, look at Alex. He's just, that's one thing, if you ever talk and sit down with Alex and just talk to him, he's a guy that never lets up off the wheel. He's always on top of the wheel and always driving as hard as he can, but he does it in a clean fashion, and I think he just wants to kind of just prove himself. But as you can see, he kind of pushed off right there, and he's actually going to give the spot to J.D. Laird. That's going to move the 23 JDR graphics machine up to 2nd place.
Yeah, so good move so far at the beginning of this race. J.D. Laird did a great job starting 4th, was able to take that 3rd spot away pretty quickly over Bentley Glazer, and then once then he's just stayed right with these guys. The draft obviously playing a little bit of a factor here at this race with these trucks. They punch such a big hole through the air as they go through the racetrack here that it allows for these guys to utilize that draft down the straightaway. You can see that 01 of Alex Bergeron actually closed the gap there off of turn number 2, but unable to make a move at this point here. J.D. Laird now up to that 2nd spot. Like to see what he can do for that Logan Clampett machine. That 44 looking strong. He's led since lap number 3.
Yeah, but I'm sure J.D. Laird has some great motivation coming into this race. He's currently our highest placed chase driver in this race, and to finish first tonight would be fantastic for him, so he doesn't have to rely on a good finish next week at Talladega. And as you mentioned before, it's a complete crapshoot at Talladega. You never know what's going to happen. So if J.D. Laird can punch his ticket tonight, I'm sure he'd be very happy with that. And he's now right up on the bumper of Logan Clampett, but just can't quite find his way through. And now he's also going to deal with Alex Bergeron. He's going to duck to the inside.
He's going to duck to the inside, try to take that 2nd spot back now, Alex Bergeron. One of those guys we talked about earlier in the season, both in the ASCORS Pro Geek Consulting Cup Series and here in the SegPay Truck Series. He has been that guy at the beginning of the season. it was tough for him. Had a lot of bad breaks, got into the wall a bunch of times, had a lot of speed, though, showed some speed. He's finally starting, as this season's been progressing in both series, been able to put these whole races together, get the finishes that he needs, get the finishes that he deserves because of his qualifying effort. So we can see that right now, doing a great job, almost trying to get that second spot back, but right now trying to hang on to third. And I'll tell you what, that 20 machine is one of those guys we talked about at the beginning. Some people kind of saving their stuff first 10, 15 laps. Well, here we are 13 laps into it, and I'm seeing a lot of speed out of that 20 and the 92 just behind him.
Yeah, that 92, but he's coming to the front. He started ninth. He's up to sixth, or well, actually fifth now. And as you can see, the 01's really not letting off the 23 also. The 23 is getting the run off the outside and 1 and 2 a little bit better than the 01. But the thing I'm noticing is 3 and 4, everybody's getting loose off that corner, and I talked about it earlier tonight. It gets really slick, and it's kind of tighter of a corner there in 3 and 4. So that's one thing you're going to have to watch all night, is when these tires get worn off a little bit more, is who's going to be able to hold on to the truck a little bit better than each other out here on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, that front stretch here obviously is basically a constant turn. You come off of turn 4 and you're literally turning that wheel all the way down until you get into turn number 1 once again. So kind of a unique, I would say, front stretch for a mile and a half. Usually we got that double dog leg, but this one here is just a gradual curve, similar to that of like Chicagoland. And we see guys getting loose off of that corner as well, too. So playing a little factor in this right now, so we haven't seen much passing going on in turns number 3 and 4. More so in turns 1 and 2, though. But how about this? Everybody's closed in. I mean, the top 8 guys right now all could literally, one mistake by one guy, he's not going to lose 1 or 2 spots. He's going to lose 5 or 6 up here in the front.
Yeah, our top 7 is really tightly packed. They're all within a second of each other, and 8th is only 2/10 behind them. So our entire field is pretty much nose to tail. We saw the qualifying times. I mean, the top, I think it was something around like the top 17 were nearly within a tenth of each other. So all these drivers are on very equal footing, and now we see the 0-1 of Alex Bergeron right on the bumper of JD Laird. The 92 now diving down. Tony Mongi just looking for that spot to get around the 20, and everyone's just trying to find their way around these tightly packed trucks, and no one's really got an advantage tonight, it seems.
Yeah, not even your leader. Usually we see the race leader with a good advantage and being able to pull out from these guys. How about the 20, Chad Coleman? A great run off of turn number 2. He's going to get him to the inside now of Alex Bergeron. They race through 3 and 4, but you can see on the bottom there, 20 getting a little loose, the tail getting a little happy on that truck. It's going to allow the 92 now, Tony Mongi, now to get to the outside, and here comes Bentley Glazer looking to make something do with that outside lane as well. Chad Coleman trying to do what he can to hang on to 4th.
Yeah, down the back straightaway right there, coming out of 2 the previous lap. I thought the 23 was going to get up under clamp it, but as you can see, again, he gets loose right there, and that's letting Alex Bergeron get right up to his rear bumper. I don't know if the 23 is actually getting upset in the truck or anything, like, not personally, but is the truck getting upset or anything? But the 01's also dealing with the same thing. It looks like the longer they're running, the 44 still looks, he looks like his truck's running the best, but it looks like everybody else's truck is starting to get upset a little bit.
Yeah, usually when you're pushing the issue, trying to catch those guys in front of you, that's when you tend to overdrive a little bit. The 44, of course, at the moment doesn't need to overdrive anything. With the lead, 2 car lengths now, 19 laps into this race. We've been green since the drop of the green flag, and it's been a good race so far for all these drivers now, keeping it all going in the right direction. Not a lot of guys moving up through the field too much. I mean, we got a couple guys, at least one now outside the top 10 that started outside the top 10, I should say. Paul Cooper in that 21. He's up 4 spots now. It's the battle for third. It's heating up. Here comes the 92. Tony Monge now to the inside of Bergeron.
Yeah, Tony Monge way down into the apron in that turn, but it looks like it's going to give a bit of an advantage to the outside of Alex Bergeron. Had a great run off of that corner, using the momentum that he could get coming off of that banking, and look at him just launch right back ahead of Tony, and now right up to the bumper of JD Laird. He had a great run through down the back stretch and through turns 3 and 4. He's quickly recovered and got himself back up to the challenge for second place. Oh, we got a truck loose on the inside. The 24 looks like he's losing it.
Yeah, almost lost it there. Good save, though, by the 24 of Greg McKinney. He's going to lose a few spots because of that, but no deal right there. Able to keep it straight, no damage at all. Looks like a bobble for second, though. J.D. Laird again off of turn 2. Struggling a little bit with that handle on that truck. It's going to give up that second spot. Alex Bergeron will make his way around. The bottom side still open a little bit. Here comes Tony Monge once again in the 92. Able to get up next to him there, even though he was drifting it off of turn number 4 there. Able to keep his foot on the gas right now. They'll go side by side for third back into 1.
Yeah, and right there, JD did the responsible thing, just letting him go, saying, okay, I need to relax a little bit. As you can see, the 92 also gets loose right there. Everybody is fighting it. I'm surprised that nobody is starting to run the outside in 1 and 2 right now because it's so loose on the bottom to the middle lane. I don't know if there's no grip on the outside or anything, but it looks like how the 01 got that run off that I would be moving up there because that looks like where your grip's at.
That definitely looked like something that these guys are going to have to try to figure out here, especially as these tires start to wear out on these trucks. I expect only about 30, 35 laps for these guys. Not necessarily on a fuel run, but a tire run for these guys in this race. I'm sure a lot of them have figured it out and broken it up into about 2 or 3 stops here over the course of the 100 laps, the 150 miles that we have on schedule here for tonight. So the top 2 with the looseness that the whole field is basically feeling right now, the top 2 are starting to pull away here. Tony Monge is a huge gap now back to that third place driver. Of course, Tony Monge is running a lot of side-by-side trying to get around those guys, so that obviously will scrub a little bit of his speed off as well, too. So we'll see if he can try to close that gap before they do start making these green flag pit stops. But Alex Bergeron doing a great job keeping Logan Clampett in his sights.
And watching the 92 and the 36 go around there through turn 1 and 2, it looks like they are starting to feel out that middle to high line, and I'm not too surprised. It did seem like they were getting a lot better speed off of that. And it looks like the 92 a little bit slow off the corner. That's going to get... Oh, we got another truck going through the inside, down through the grass. I think that's the 16 of Alan Cryer. He's able to keep it pointed in the right direction. No caution and no damage to him, but definitely a lot of positions lost there.
Yeah, that's the only good thing I think about this front stretch here. There's no wall to the inside. They got nothing but grass. Another great save right there by Alan Cryer. After starting in that 5th spot, he'll drop outside the top 10 as they run right now. Up front, though, still not much changing on. J.D. Laird still falling back here just a bit. Chad Coleman able to get the run off of turn number 4. He'll take that spot away. Move Chad Coleman now up to a top 5 here as he tries to chase down the 2 in front of him. Tony Monge kind of struggling a little bit once he had that speed. Here comes Bentley Glazer now to the inside, trying to get the run and coming off of turn 2, awfully close to the wall there for the 92. And they'll still race it side by side now into 3.
Yeah, they're side by side, and the 92 is going to be on the outside. And I think that's kind of the preferred line in 3 and 4 right now with everybody getting loose on the bottom. And he still gets loose. He's watching up. He's lost it.
The 92 is around.
Off of turn 4, it looks like only a single car incident, though. Tony Monge, it took a long time. I would say, you know what, I'll tell you what, in the last 10 laps or so, I think we've seen about, if not the whole field, the majority of the field getting loose off these corners. It was a matter of time here. Doesn't look like some major damage to that 92 of Tony Monge, but he did make some contact, it looks like, with the front end of that truck on that outside wall there off of turn number 4. So our first caution tonight comes on lap number 27 here, and Logan Clampett, our leader, will slow things down, get behind the pace car, and I expect, guys, 27 laps in, I expect some 4-tire changes for pretty much the majority of this field here.
I think everyone's going to be taking 4 tires here, and we saw how loose everyone was, and the 92 was just loose not only through 3 and 4, but also 1 and 2. So you could definitely tell those tires were pretty much shot on that thing.
So the field making their way down pit road, of course, led by Logan Clampett in that 44 machine. He'll stop in the 3rd box, and then Alex Bergeron will get that preferred first stall. We'll see if that'll help this 01 out at all on this stop here. Looks like everybody able to slide into their box just nicely here. J.D. Laird making a little show of it right there in that 4th spot there. Looks like a couple drivers making the drive-through of pit road here. Ray Rittenauer included in one of them off of pit road. Oh, it's going to be close, but it looks like that Logan Clampett's going to win that race.
Yeah, Logan Clampett wins the race off of pit road. Then you go back to Alex Bergeron. It looks like he's actually got a speeding penalty, so that's going to put the 01 to the back, so that's going to move Bentley Glazer up to 2nd. 3rd will be Chad Coleman. 4th is J.D. Laird. 5th is going to be Greg McKinney.
So unfortunate circumstances there for the 01. That's what you don't want, but I think he was trying to just get that top spot away coming off of pit road, but unfortunately caught speeding for Alex Bergeron. And the unfortunate thing is that's all the way back to 24th spot. He's going to have a lot of work cut out for him in the long rest of the night here to try to make that up with just 3/4 of the race left here now as we work lap 28 under the caution flag for the first time here. All our leaders have came down to pit road, got in service. We're going to take this moment to take a caution flag of our own. It's the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
Ready, aim, fire.
Welcome you back here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway and the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. I was getting the countdown in Spanish and I forgot my numbers in Spanish there. But anyway, we're back here live and getting set for a restart here. Logan Clampett, your leader right now, once he has taken it from Alex Bergeron on lap number 3, has not looked back at all here. Logan Clampett will give us the restart here. Look, Bentley Glazer will start on the outside of the front row just as he did on the start of this race here. You got Chad Coleman, J.D. Laird, and Greg McKinney, your top 5 on this one. Pace car, look into the safety of pit road. We'll duck down there and we'll get set and wait for the start of this one here. Waiting for the green flag. Logan Clampett gets to that restart zone. Green flag waves, and we're off and running.
And Logan Clampett with a great launch. Bentley Glazer actually gets a little bogged down. It checks up the whole outside line. There's some bumping and banging going on back in the field. Some of those, we just had that little accordion effect happen. And thankfully, we were clean. Oh, I think we got some contact back in the field. The 3 of Stephen O'Rourke making some contact. We got trucks on the inside losing it. Somehow, everyone stays pointed in the right direction, and we are still green.
Still green from all that action in the back. How about the action for the 3rd place spot right now? Bentley Glazer on the outside, the 24. Now Greg McKinney to the inside. Here comes the 21 of Paul Cooper as well, too. A great run for him up through the field here on this restart. He's going to move up a couple spots here, up to that 5th spot, all the way from 13th at the beginning of the night here. How about a little further back? Top 10 running on that bottom side. Here comes Garrett Lee and contact
in the back
behind him. It looks like the 92, Tony Mangi, might have just dodged that one there. Happened just behind these guys. What an amazing run right there, but some more trouble. Caution number 2 out on the speedway.
That looked like the worst net code I have ever seen. This 16 was, I think, like half a truck length back, and it looks like somehow the game registered that he got into the back of the 97. You see that back end just jack up into the air, and that was really bad net code.
That was probably the worst I've ever seen it right there, honestly. But hey, listen, caution number 2 out on the night there, and we'll just pretend the truck was a little bit longer and he got into him. So caution number 2 here in lap number 32. Guys, drivers were just down on pit road. I highly doubt we'll see any of the leaders. They're going to want to keep their track position. How about Chad Coleman? A great restart for him. Up to that second spot, Daniel. I mean, we talk about how important these restarts are. Right there was a great showing. How quickly he was able to get up through here, and how quickly other guys, too, as well. Look at Paul Cooper from 13th right now, showing in that 5th spot. That was a great restart for him. He made up about 3 positions there in that first lap.
Yeah, and it's also a good restart for Chad Coleman because now that's going to put him even better for this points chase battle, because he's a guy that needs a win to get into the next round, but he can also come out of here with some great points. So that's good for him running second right now. Then you got Bentley Glazier third, and then talking about Paul Nicholas Cooper, yeah, he's probably your highest mover tonight. Yeah, he actually is, and he's running 5th. So way to go for them guys that are getting up towards the front of the field. But that checkup at the restart helped a lot of guys out on the bottom lane. It just made it to where, like, I really didn't understand what the chain reaction was. It was like the 36 just didn't get going on the outside that time.
Yeah, it might have missed a shift, or maybe just a slow shift for him getting into one of the gears, but definitely checked up the guys further back. You know, obviously a 36 doesn't have any issues, but it starts to accordion back. And when you're sitting in these trucks, Kelly, you cannot see anything in front of the guy. You're literally staring at that rear spoiler. There is actually no view of anything ahead. So when you get something like that happens, you have no idea 3, 4, 5 rows back of what's going on.
No, I experience this quite a bit when I'm racing these things on the super speedways. You're trying to look through the guys' windows to see what's going on in front, and you just can't see a thing. The truck beds are just so high, and those spoilers just stick up right in front of you, and you don't know if what's going on right in front of the guy in front of you. You can just see all you see is the bumper. But it seemed like Bentley Glazier just wasn't expecting that green flag to come out as early as it did. I think he was looking at it. I think he just got on the gas a second too late, and the guys in front of them, behind them, got a great jump, but we just got that little accordion effect. You know, one guy checks up a little bit, the next guy behind him suddenly has to check up a bit harder, and I'm surprised we got through that as clean as we did. But I think that contributed to what happened just a little bit later with everyone getting all messed up going through the corners.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It benefited a couple of drivers up there. How about Tommy Ryan in the 99 there? Good qualifying effort for him. He fell back, though, on the start. He started 7th in this race here tonight, but he fell back on the start there. It just seemed like he couldn't get going, but then he is right now been able to work his way up and make up a few spots and get himself back inside that top 10, doing a good job. And, let's talk about last week at New Hampshire, because that was a fantastic race, and we saw a lot of guys in the chase finish really, really well in that one. I mean, Byron Daly, of course, came out with the win. He's not here tonight. Adam Benefield's not here either, and he finished 2nd last night, so I don't know what that's going to do as far as him being able to make the next round. Of course, obviously, he could go win Talladega next week, but we all know how hard that can be. Tommy Ryan had a fantastic run last week, finished 3rd at New Hampshire, exactly what he needed. We talked to him in the post-race. If he can't win one of these races, he says, I need these good top 5 finishes to get himself into the next round, and again into the next round after that. So all these guys talked about how important it was to run good races, these first couple of races, just to be ready for Talladega, because you never know what can happen at that place. But Bentley Glazier had a great run as well, finishing in the top 5. So most of the guys in that top 10 last week, it looks like about 7 of them, I believe, were all chase drivers. So a pretty good showing last week at New Hampshire for everybody that needed a good run, including Byron Daly getting the win that will lock him now into that 2nd round, the round of 8, which of course will happen in a couple more weeks. Talladega, though, up on the schedule next week. That's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of drama and a lot of, I would say, near misses for some of these guys. Maybe a lot of anxiety for them, just trying to prepare. There's really nothing you can do different to prepare for that race as opposed to some others. We all know how to plate race. It's just a matter of having that racing luck on your side a lot of times.
Yeah, it's all. I'm one of the drivers, and Kelly's probably one of them too. I think it takes a little bit more skill than luck, Andy. It's one of them things. The luck factor comes in with everybody else around you. You don't know what anybody else is doing, but Yeah, I think somebody comes in here next week, and I think they're going to put on a heck of a show. I think you're going to have one guy out of this group, or at least 2 or 3 of them, that are really good at super speedway. They may not like them, but they have that knack for it, and they'll get the job done.
It should be nice to see if we cannot get another chase race winner to get that done next week. But how about we got to finish here tonight? We still got about 65 laps to go. It'll be 64 laps when we cross the start-finish line. Green flag now back in the air, and a great start again for that 44 machine. Logan Clampett doing a great job here, getting to the lead. And how about the 20? A great job by him to get that second spot. He'll just pull down right in front of Bentley Glazer.
Well, the 24 tried to sneak his way back into the bottom line, but Paul Cooper would not let him in. And now we've got the double file just back in the pack. The 21 inside the 24 and the 03 inside the 23. Side by side through turn number 3. The 03 will beat out JD Laird, but the 24 of Greg McKinney not wanting to give up on Paul Cooper just yet. They're still side by side, but Paul's got that advantage going through that tri-oval, being able to run all the way down and shorten up that track as much as possible.
Well, I'll see how the run is off of the corner for these two drivers. They continue some side by side. Oh, a little bit of contact, maybe the 24 up into the wall right there. That might have been a little bit of netcode as well. He didn't spin around, but definitely gonna scrub a lot of speed off right there, and he's gonna fall way back deep into the field right here, so everyone else will be able to keep it straight and get around him here. We stay green flag racer right now. Pretty good battle going for that lead, though. Looks like Chad Coleman had a pretty good run off for, but that 44 Logan Clampett is going to be able to hang on to that lead right now. Another one of these guys we talked about Paul Cooper being able to make his way through the field. How about the guy just behind him there, Daniel? The 03 of Jake Simmons. How about that? 12 spots now, up to 5th.
Yeah, and how about Garrett Smithley all the way up to 7th now? Wow, these guys are just, it's kind of like this, like I told you earlier, Andy. It's you have your comers and goers, and these guys are just coming right to the front. And like Garrett Smithley on that restart, he gained like 3 spots on that restart. And actually, you see the 23 actually looking below the 03 of Jake Simmons right now, and it looks like he's going to push up a little bit. Get real close to the 03 right there, and that's going to give Garrett Smithley down the back straightaway a heck of a run. The 23 comes back up to shut the door.
I'll tell you what, the 03 was one of those guys that we saw the last couple of races during the regular season there, trying to make a fight to get into the chase. Missed it by just a mere few points getting into the chase. So, Jake Simmons, he was having a pretty good season, and we see him continuing that right now in that top 5 spot there, able to hold off J.D. Laird at least for a lap right now. Top 4, they're starting to pull away a little bit. It's going to be a battle for the second spot here. So inside, here comes Bentley Glazer now looking to take it back.
Yeah, he's looking to the inside, but Chad Coleman's got some great speed on that outside line. I think he's going to carry some good momentum through turn 3 and 4 here, but he can't quite get clear, which gives Bentley Glazer that opportunity to go right down to the apron and shorten up that tri-oval and try to see if he can get some ground on the 20. But we're seeing that outside line through turn 1 and 2 give him a great advantage, and he's going to lose some speed actually. Paul Cooper now looking to the inside of the 36, and he's going to go for 3rd place.
He's going to go for 3rd right now as Coleman pulls back up to the back bumper now of that 44 Logan Clampett. I'm watching a bunch of these guys a little further back in the top 10 as well too as we watch this battle for the lead. They're starting to utilize that top line a little bit more through 1 and 2. I think some of these guys after that first run realized how quickly running that bottom their tires are going to wear out. You see a little further back in the pack, they start off and they enter high, and then kind of they're able to turn down to the bottom of the track to try to get that more straight drive off the corner, and I think that's really helping them, Daniel.
Yeah, I think it really is. All it does is really, Andy, it just, when you go and enter real high and then you shooting the car back down, it's like a kind of a boost of momentum. Looking at the 92 and the 03, actually a little contact there coming out of 4 down the front straightaway. 92, I just think the 92, they're wrecking. He turned him.
They make some more contact. Right there. It was a little door slap out of 4, and going into turn number 1, it was a little more than a door slap. Both of those guys up into the wall. They'll lose a bunch of positions. That's going to move some more guys now up in the standings right now as they come off of turn number 4. How about another change for position? The 21 of Paul Cooper. He had it that 3rd position. He's going to lose 2 now. Bentley Glazer, J.D. Laird able to get around them. And how about Garrett Smithley? Here he comes. We talked about him a moment ago. Now up to that 6th spot and starting to close in now on the top 5.
Yeah, we go on board with Garrett right now, looking at the bumper of that 21, and he's looking like he wants that spot bad. He's gaining some great speed. The 21 lost a lot of momentum over these last couple laps. I don't know if he just got knocked out of his groove here, or if maybe he's just feeling those tires wear off. A little bit of a wobble looked like from Garrett, but he's still getting some great speed. And looking up at the field, the 23 now looking to the inside of the 36. JD Laird is going to make an attempt for position 3.
That's a great battle right now. The top side, though, looks like it's going to prevail. J.D. Laird's probably a little upset by that. Had a good run going down the front straightaway and into turn number 1. How about the battle for the lead as well? Coleman's been putting the pressure on that 44 machine. And I'll tell you what, even though when the 01 was up there, I don't think he was really putting that type of pressure on Logan Clamp early on here. But Chad Coleman doing a great job with that. Speaking of the 01, Alex Bergeron, we mentioned the speeding penalty on that first pit stop there under the caution flag. Well, we throw in another caution flag in there, but how about Alex Bergeron now back inside the top 10, and he's at the end of this group here in 9th.
Yeah, he's finally made his way back up into the top 10, but look at this track. This track has given us a well of a race. It's bunching up the whole field. As you can see, the battle for the lead. Chad Coleman looks down to the inside, and Logan Clampett on the outside down the front straightaway. Clampett actually clears him off of 4 right there down the front straightaway, and now looking right behind them, a battle for third. The 23 and the 36. J.D. Laird looks like he wants that spot. He looks down to the inside. He might want second, but he thought better of it, and now the 36 is going to have that run down out of 2.
He's going to keep that top spot right now, but that was probably the first big battle he was having. J.D. Laird now making the pass over Bentley Glazer for third. Now drifts up in front of him there, closes the door. Bentley on his back bumper right now, giving him a little push now down the front straightaway here, and Bentley Glazer, a pretty cool job there. He could have definitely tried to cross him over there, but thought wiser of it. Looking big picture for that driver, the number 36. He wants a championship, and that's what he's running for here tonight. I love what we see, though, here over the course of the long run. We see the top 10 really just start to form back up into a nice pack up to the front of the field, and I love what we're seeing right now. Some great racing here at Las Vegas. We're getting close to that halfway point. In fact, next lap, as they cross right now, they'll reach lap number 50. Next lap will be that halfway point, so we might as well do it. Let's do it. Our iRacing midway race break, of course, is brought to you by iRacing, the world's premier online racing game with professionally organized racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and much, much more. They come across the line this time as they work their way through 3 and 4. It is the halfway point. 50 laps to go. Logan Clampett continues to lead. Chad Coleman in that number 20 from 6th. He's made it all the way up to 2nd. He's putting the pressure on that 44 machine here, and J.D. Laird now in that 3rd spot. 4th right now to Bentley Glazer. Paul Cooper currently in that 5th spot. Garrett Smithley, great run for him. 10 spots up into 6th. And right now Tommy Ryan is holding serve at 7th. 8th right now Alex Bergeron after climbing back from 24th spot on the restart, 2 restarts ago. Tyler Dalton now 9th, and rounding out your top 10, that's the 41, E.J. O'Rourke.
And the other O'Rourke is right behind him, running in 11th. The 10 of Richard Beasley is running currently in 12th. 13th is the 91 of Doy Woods. The 38 of Justin Weaver is in 14th. 15th is currently sitting in Tyler King. Larry Pace in the 00 running in 16th. 17th sees the 16 of Alan Cryer. 18th is Seth Foudy. 19th, Rich Jetty. And rounding out the top 20 is Greg McKinney.
21st is Tony Mong in the 92 machine. He was your first wreck and your first caution of the day. 22nd is John Wilco. 23rd is Ray Rittenhauer. And 24th is Jake Simmons. And 25th is Jeff Hollingworth in the 97. He was your second caution of the day. And then 26th is a driver that's 35 laps down of the 9 machine of Cody Welker.
That has been your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. You can use the LSRTV promo code by entering PR-2016 LSRTV when you register for a new iRacing membership. You get the late model free of charge, along with the 13 cars and 14 tracks that are included with a first-time subscription. Again, that's PR-2016 LSRTV for the new subscription. So we get back in here. We're halfway through this one right now. We're seeing a lot of comers and goers. Alex Bergeron just made another pass right there into turn number 1. Take that 7th spot over Tommy Ryan. But up front, nothing's changed. Logan Clampett continues to be your leader here on lap number 54. We'll take this time. We'll go side by side. You're watching the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series right here on iRacing Live.
The 2016 iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series is all about change. New teams, new drivers, new tracks, even a new logo. And oh yeah, there's a brand new car. After 5 years of competition, we say goodbye to the Williams FW31 and we say hello to the McLaren MP430. But this isn't just a brand new car, it's a whole new ballgame. And with it, we bring new excitement, new strategies, new technology. For example, energy recovery and drag reduction systems. There's a new way of thinking about racing, and for all the drivers participating, it's back to the drawing board, wiping the slate clean in the ever-consuming pursuit of perfection. One little slip-up, one wrong move on track, one poor strategy call, and it's over. That's the difference between coming up short and becoming champion, and being $10,000 richer to boot. So yeah, change is in the air, but we're going to start getting answers on the 27th of February as the 7th year of iRacing World Championship competition kicks off. And you won't miss a thing, with every single race live on iRacing Live, coverage brought to you by RaceBot TV. So join us fortnightly from 1:30 p.m. GMT.
Welcome back here to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's chase race number 2 for this ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. And speaking of that, of SegPay, how about SegPay for over 10 years? SegPay has been processing the online payment transactions for merchants in all categories with a specialization in helping retailers process credit card transactions. They are a leader in card not present transactions and have a strong relationship with acquiring banks and credit card schemes. Learn more at segpay.com. SegPay, the proud sponsor of the ASCORS Truck Series. As well, how about Garrett Smithley Racing, the proud sponsor of Garrett Smithley, and the number 0, JD Motorsports, Chevy Camaro. You can see each and every week on the NASCAR Xfinity Series live on NBC right now. And listen, we got a great race going on right now, and I'm kind of excited, guys, about what we've seen here. The field kind of bunches back up, but now when we're getting about the point when we're going to see green flag pit stops again, the first time we had a caution. Now we're still running. Everybody's pretty strung out, but now we're really seeing that 44 on the long run, really able to take it to these guys.
Yeah, he's definitely controlling that truck very well when these tires wear down. We've seen a lot of these guys having to slow up a bit, dealing with the truck getting tight and also a little loose as well off of the corner. The truck really tightens up in the middle, but it seems like they get a little wiggly off the corner, and a couple of these guys, it slows them up quite a bit, but Logan Clampett, it looks like he hasn't worn his tires off at all. Like, he's just flying out there compared to everyone else. Throughout this last run, we had like the top 7 within a second, and now Logan Clampett nearly opened up a second gap over Chad Coleman.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see as the tires wear off. I'm sure we'll see some guys, maybe some short pitting coming up here momentarily, and see if anybody tries to bite on that to try to take the advantage over that 44 of Logan Clampett. He has been the dominant leader here today at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 40 laps to go, make it 39 as he comes across the start-finish line this time. So Logan Clampett getting the job done here. Non-chase racer coming in, does a limited amount of starts. He raced last week at New Hampshire, ended up coming home in the 10th spot in that race there. But he was definitely a factor during the beginning of the race at a possible coming out of there with the win. But Logan Clampett looking to play spoiler on some of these chase racers here, especially all the ones inside the top 10 right now that are looking to try to get themselves qualified for that next round without having to worry about Talladega, which comes up next week. That should be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, Talladega, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, Andy, they say if stuff does happen there, it's going to happen big. So, well, I guess if you're a chase racer, you don't want Logan Clampett to be winning this race right now. Chad would like to be winning, and J.D. Laird and Bentley Glazer or Paul Nicholas Cooper, they would love to be winning this race right now because that would lock them in to the next round and not have to worry about Talladega. So as you can see, actually you got JD Laird actually pitting right here. The 23 machine actually gets her woed up to pit speed, and that's gonna probably be your first driver to pit tonight, Andy.
Yeah, it's going to be our first of our lead lap drivers coming down pit road. E.J. O'Rourke coming in as well, along with Doy Woods in that number 91 machine as well. Of course, Doy Woods getting his win at Daytona, the first race of the season, was able to get himself secured into the chase rather early in this season here, and he's looking for a good one here tonight. So I see some of these guys trying the short pitch strategy here as the 44 Logan Clampett stays out at least one more lap here. Chad Coleman now entering this lap here, so one lap after those guys. So a couple of the guys deciding that they want to try the short pitch, see what they can do, and see if they can put them in an advantage here over Clampett here before this thing's over.
Yeah, that undercut might work out for them because we've seen these tires wear off quite a bit, and it really slows these guys up. So pitting early might give them an advantage of running those fresh tires. And here comes Logan Clampett. He comes low off of turn number 4. Whoa! Locks him up, gets a little sideways. I don't know if he slowed that truck down enough, and if he did, that was extremely close. That thing went swerved left and right, nearly spun it all the way around, but it looks like he got it down to pit road speed, and that'll be our leader down for his green flag stop.
Yeah, it's definitely hard coming off the racetrack after running about 180, 190 miles an hour and then having to get that thing woed up to about 50 to come down pit road, especially on a flat surface, and pretty much when you haven't been using brakes either, too, so those brakes aren't really warm. So it makes it quite interesting sometimes for these guys to come down pit road, and it looks like Logan Clampett, no problems for him. No problems for the 01 of Alex Bergeron as well. He'll come out just behind him there. So now the point is trying to figure out where these guys are. Garrett Smithley, though, still out on the racetrack. He's trying to maybe catch these guys a lap down here. Garrett Smithley now, your current race leader, getting some bonus points here. J.D. Laird, you can see him now come to the backstretch. He's actually going to make the pass on the 44 Logan Clampett. That essentially would be for the race lead.
Yeah, that is for the race lead, but as you can see, Garrett Smithley stays out for another lap, and Bentley Glazier actually came in a lap ago, and he's actually down and away. He's just now leaving pit road, and Garrett Smithley's got a pretty good size lead, and I think he's trying to stay out there and catch these drivers a lap down. But as you can see, here comes J.D. Laird and Logan Clampett right there and looking right down to the inside. Here comes J.D. Laird, and I think Clampett's going to follow suit right there, and I think the 63 needs to come down pit road. He's probably thinking about it right here. As he gets loose, hits the apron, saves it, and he's actually going to make another lap.
That was a close call right there off of the corner. Here comes a couple more fresh tires now to make their way and get themselves back on the lead lap with Garrett Smithley. So, I mean, it's still not a bad call at this point. Still on the lead lap, still controlling the race at the moment. I mean, these guys are basically a lap behind him right now as they just passed him. The problem is they're about 2.5 seconds faster than him right now, so it wouldn't be too much long, 15 laps or so. And they're going to be right there in pursuit of that leader right now, Garrett Smithley. It looks like he continues to stay out on the racetrack, but definitely handling some issues right there with handling. He's got a little bit loose there off of turn number 4. Here comes E.J. O'Rourke as well with some fresh tires.
Yeah, the longer he stays out, the more time he's losing. These guys that have already pitted are running so much faster than him. We're watching him just blow by him like he's not even really on the throttle. So if I were him, I'd be coming down really very soon, but I think he may be betting on maybe a caution happening that would cause the entire field to have to come down pit road again. But as we talked about it, we've seen Logan Clampett. He's gotten around J.D. Laird for that possible provisional lead once everyone takes their pit stops.
You got to remember, too, I mean, these guys have 100% fuel level on these trucks, so there might be a possibility. I'm not so sure. I mean, it was probably, lap, I don't even remember when it was, lap 40 or so, or 30 something. I don't think you can make it 70 laps on a tank of fuel, so I'm pretty sure that 63 is going to have to pit at some point here, but all this time that he's losing right now to these guys is definitely not going to help his cause at all here. Off of turn number 4, though, he's going to continue to lead a pretty good pace right now over Richard Beasley, a 5-second lead over him, but you can see all the fresh tires still making their way around that 63 machine right now. 15 trucks now on the lead lap after the green flag pit stops. We still got about 4 more guys, maybe a little bit more. Looks like maybe 6 drivers still left on the racetrack that need to make their pit stop here under the green flag condition. So a lot can happen between now and then, but you can see that 63 truck. Wow, he's just drifting it off the corners there.
Yeah, he's drifting off the corners, and I was looking back up here at the ahead of him, the guys who just got their laps back, Logan Clampett, J.D. Laird, and now look at the guy right here that's running third, would be your provisional third placement if once the 63 and the Rich Jetty and Greg McKinney and all them other guys pit. Alex Bergeron, he's finally made it back up here. Let's see if he can actually, as he was trying to look, he looks to the outside of the 23. I really don't think that's going to work going through the tri-oval, how the 23 just cut down a little bit and actually had but he actually goes to the outside. He pulls up to the outside of 23 with J.D. Laird, and they're side by side going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I think that was a good move right there by that 01. Look at the speed. Look at the closing rate now on the 44 as well, too. That was a good move by Alex Bergeron to take over what would be the second spot here once we see the rest of the drivers come down pit road. That's a pretty good battle, though, and you think after green flag pit stops for these three drivers to be that close, that's a pretty good deal, and all of them pretty flawless on pit road.
And talk about the recovery of Alex Bergeron. We talked about how during that first caution, he did get a pit road speeding penalty. That dropped him all the way to the back, and now he's just fought his way right back up there, and it's a great way to just shake off that early race incident and get your head back into the game and run your line, run your laps, and now he's gone from back in the 20s to possibly second place.
Yeah, he restarted outside the top 20 on that restart, and I'll tell you what, he's done most of the passing under green flag conditions as well, so that 01 truck definitely pretty fast here tonight. We knew that anyway coming into it, getting the pole position here, which was his fourth pole position here in segment number 2, or actually his fifth pole position here in segment 2, but still looking for that first win. So that 01 definitely, probably as well as he's running here tonight, can probably sniff that out. He wants to keep that 44 pretty close to the end here.
Yeah, he needs to keep him right there where he's at. And just now, after he's caught these drivers and caught the 44 of Logan Clampett, once Garrett Smith, the pits here, cycles it back around to Logan Clampett, he just needs to be saving his stuff right here. Just ride right behind him and then pounce on him in the later run with about 10 or 15 laps to go.
I think right now that 63 machine's just banking on a caution coming out. He's going to run that fuel tank dry, still out on the racetrack. We got about 24 laps still left to go here in this one, so, I mean, there's a lot that can happen in that, but you pretty much pit at this point with how fast those guys are running and how quickly they've closed the gap. You talk about being a lap down behind your leader, and now at this point here is everybody's pitted except for Garrett Smithley. Logan Clampett's now 14 seconds behind him, and that gap is still continuing to close.
And look at Alex Bergeron on the outside of the 44. He's going for that provisional race lead, but the 44 of Logan Clampett not giving up just yet. He's still got his nose into the inside of Alex Bergeron, but Alex getting a great run off of turn 4, and he will clear him just by a few inches. But that is just enough to take over that possible race lead once Garrett Smithley pits.
That was a great job by the 01 Alex Bergeron from outside the top 20 back to the race lead. And he's getting the job done and starting to pull away just a little bit there, utilizing that high side, both in turns 3 and 4 and in 1 and 2. I'll tell you what, that 01's getting it done. He's getting it done in a hurry right now. As long as he can keep the tires underneath that thing for the remaining 22 laps here as he crosses the start-finish line, that's going to be the big key if he can stay out in front of Logan Clampett to the end.
Yeah, the thing about it is, though, Andy, is how hard did he go to catch the 44 of Logan Clampett, and how hard did he go to catch and pass J.D. Laird also? That's one of the things you have to keep an eye on at this racetrack is that right front will start to let go, and then your left rear is going to start letting go, and that's what's going to create a tight, loose condition around this half-mile Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, definitely a tight condition through the center of the corner, which keeps you off the throttle for a long time, and then trying to force the throttle, get you the loose condition off the corners, and that's what we're seeing at a 63 now, but it looks like Garrett Smithley going to head down pit road this time as those guys have closed that gap to about 9 seconds here right now on lap number 80, and here he comes now. It looks like the 63 slowing up. He's going to come down pit road. He's real wiggly there, I'll tell you what. That was a lot of work there to get it down to 50 miles an hour.
I don't blame him for being all out of shape like that. Those tires are probably pretty much shot at that point, and also these trucks are big and heavy and most brakes aren't that great, but That will now give the lead up to Alex Bergeron, but here comes Logan Clampett way down at the bottom of turn 1 and 2, and he's now even up with the 0-1, but Alex Bergeron with that great run off the corner. When you're on the outside like that, when you're coming to that straightaway, it's like coming down off of a hill, and you get a great launch, but he still hasn't been able to get clear of Logan. Logan is still even with the 0-1. They are door to door coming to the start-finish line, and at the line, they will only be separated by 8 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, that's awfully close right there, and you can see Garrett Smithley on the apron coming off of pit road service. He'll be 1 lap down right now. That'll put him all the way back to about 20th spot on the grid. So 1 lap down will leave us about 19 guys left on the lead lap here at this one. Green flag since about lap 28 or so, somewhere around that area. It's been a pretty good race since then. This time by, though, 18 laps for Alex Bergeron to hang on to this race lead. Logan Clampett, pretty good run off turn 4. He'll look once again now into turn 1 to the inside.
Yeah, Logan Clampett is all over Alex Bergeron. And I don't know, did the 0-1 go way too hard at that beginning after he got done with his green flag pit stop? So it's about to see if Logan's just saved his stuff, or are they going to just right now just fight it out till the end?
You're absolutely right. Well, being on that bottom side as well with that 44, that's the only lane that the 0-1 is giving them. And you got to tell you, running that bottom side when you're running side by side like this is where you tend to burn that right front even quicker. So this is one of those things that Logan Clampett continue to push the issue, continue to stay to the inside, have the opportunity to possibly wear his tires out quicker than the 0-1, which then in turn would obviously give Alex Bergeron the advantage towards the later stages of this race. Or does Alex Bergeron have enough left into that thing? I mean, this is going to be an outstanding battle we've seen side by side over the last few laps. And how about giving that lap right there to Logan Clampett on the inside, 5 1/1000ths of a second better than Alex Bergeron, but they'll continue some side-by-side action as Garrett Smithley actually starts to come into the picture, trying to unlap himself here much faster with those fresh tires now, but just nowhere to go.
And they are still door-to-door as we come through turn 3 and 4, and neither one of these guys wanted to give up an inch, and I don't think they're going to move at all for Garrett, so Garrett's going to have to find his own way around. He's going to go to the inside, make it 3 wide down this front straight. Thankfully, they have a lot of room with Garrett going down that. Whoa, gets a little bit of a wiggle coming back off of the apron, and I don't think Logan's going to be too happy getting kind of shoved up high there, not getting down to the white line like he's been running the past few laps, but that will help him a bit. He's got a good run off the corner, and he nearly clears Alex Bergeron, but Alex has still got his nose just in there enough to force the 44 down to that white line, but here he comes now, going to slide up the track. The 44 of Logan Clampett has cleared the 0-1 of Alex Bergeron to take over that race lead.
So back to the lead here, 14 laps left to go. That time by, they head back into turn number 1. Alex Bergeron not going to give up at all, still sniffing out that first win of the season here in the ASCORS SegPay Truck Series. Trying to get it done here in Las Vegas in the chase. Nonetheless, right now, Logan Clampett trying to steal some of the glory away from some of these chase drivers here, trying to pick up his third win of the season here tonight, and trying to get it done here, and he's doing a great job. Led the most laps here so far tonight, and right now holding about a 1 truck length gap on the second place running Alex Bergeron, now back into 1.
Yeah, they head back off into 1, but it ain't over until it's over, and once the checker flag falls, I guess that's going to be your winner. But I think the 44 is starting to get loose. Maybe he burnt that right front up, and maybe the 01 was just saving his stuff there, and now he's just going to lurk right behind him and just see if the 44 of Logan Clampett will make a mistake. But I've raced with Logan. It's really hard just to get up on him and actually make a mistake. He's a well of a driver, but I've also raced with Alex Bergeron. Both of these guys, they never give an inch, but they'll race you with all respect until one of them just makes a mistake. I think this is how it's gonna be right here. I think the 44 saved his stuff, and I think Alex is starting to ease a little ways back.
That could just be the case here over the course of the next 11 laps here. This time by, we'll have just 11 circuits left around this racetrack here. Not a lot of time for him to get the job done, but he's doing a great job, at least hanging on to that back bumper. Of course, the draft playing into effect a little bit there. Chad Coleman currently in that third spot, 3 seconds back right now from this battle for the lead. So Chad Coleman pretty much out of this one unless caution was to fly at this point here. And J.D. Laird having a great solid run here tonight inside the top 5. Bentley Glazer right now currently rounding out your top 5 as they run and as they approach. Just 10 laps left to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Sin City. And right now, Logan Clampett showing the way.
And I think Chad Coleman and J.D. Laird were definitely watching their relative screens when Logan Clampett and Alex Bergeron were fighting there. I mean, Chad Coleman and J.D. Laird are your top running chase drivers. So if these two guys take each other out, if Logan and Alex bump into each other, that can give the win to Chad or JD, which would lock them into the next round, and I'm sure that's what they're wishing for right now. But now it looks like Logan's running away a little bit from Alex, opening up that gap, and so I think that might not be an issue that we'll run into tonight. Oh, actually, sorry, I just think I almost cursed them.
Almost flat out lost it right there off of turn number 4. Logan Clampett, it looks like maybe the 62 of John Wilco maybe stole some air off of that rear spoiler or something, but the 44, that's definitely the most sideways we've seen him all night long, right there off of turn number 4, but able to hang on to it. It closes the gap just a little bit, but I think at this point here, coming to 8 to go, Daniel, I'm almost wondering, I think a little bit too much of the tire wear on that 01 for him to even give this a fighting chance.
Yeah, that right there was a good save by Logan Clampett, but also the 01 I think is just burn it up. I mean, there's not much you can do once you set yourself into going as hard as he did at the beginning of that run. It's just one of them things he's going to have to deal with at the end of the run. He knows that if he didn't leave the 44 like he did, he never left the 44. So, I mean, that's what you're going to expect. Right when he got up beside the 01, there was really not much the 01 could do. It's just taking that outside lane away, which makes it a little bit harder for the 44 to pass on the bottom. But once the 44 got it done, there's really no way you could just get right back to him unless he makes a mistake.
You're absolutely right. 7 laps left to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we look at the top 10 right now. Besides the top 2 guys, you got Chad Coleman, chase driver; Bentley Glazer, chase driver; J.D. Laird, chase driver; Tommy Ryan, chase driver; Paul Cooper, Tyler Dalton, chase drivers. I mean, Doy Woods in there 10th. I mean, there's 3 guys, 7 of the chase drivers in the top 10. Again, exactly what we saw last week. This is some great driving by all those guys.
Well, your chase drivers are supposed to be your best drivers throughout the season, and they're definitely showing that they earned their way into that chase. And you have so many of these chase guys running in the top 10, trying to get as many points as possible before we head off to that last race of this round at Talladega. And after Talladega, 4 of these guys, that's going to be it for their championship hopes. So they're definitely pushing as hard as they can tonight. And Chad Coleman now looking like he's going to make some good points tonight.
Yeah, definitely looking that way. Obviously not the win that he wants to secure his way in, but definitely not a bad way to solidify what could be a chance to move on to the round of 8 after next week's Talladega race. Off of turn number 2, though, 5 laps to go, make it 4.5 now. Logan Clampett still about a 3 truck length lead over Alex Bergeron. Chad Coleman continuing to slip back just a bit. It's down to about 4.5 seconds now. Back to your 3rd place driver, Bentley Glazer, just behind him. J.D. Laird as well, rounding out your top 5 as they run here. So 4 laps to go this time across the start-finish line. Alex Bergeron maybe saving a little bit. He gained a little spots there off the turn number 4.
Yeah, I'm not writing him off just yet. I ain't signed him off. I ain't X'd the name out yet. He is coming back, and he's coming back as fast and as hard as he can. The 01 is making up about 100th a lap. I mean, how close they are, he could get there right at the start-finish line. So maybe we'll see one of these famous mile-and-a-half photo finishes that you see on the real-life doing. Maybe we'll see like a Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson kind of deal coming around to the start-finish line here at Las Vegas.
Wouldn't that be something to see between these 2 drivers here? A seasoned veteran, a Pro Series driver, Logan Clampett, and then an up-and-starting youngcomer Alex Bergeron, racing him as hard as he can. That might spell some good things in the future for that 01 of Alex Bergeron. Right now, about a truck length and a half separating them back to turn number 3 here. This time by, though, Kelly, just 2 more circuits around this mile-and-a-half speedway, and he's closed the gap right there through the center of the corner.
Yeah, he had a great run through that corner. Nearly washed up and lost that truck coming off the corner, but through that middle, he did gain a lot of ground, and he's cut a little bit more time off of Logan Clampett. But he's running out of laps here. Just 2 to go now at the line, and if he's going to make something happen, he's going to have to make it happen quick. He's got to find his way around Logan, but Logan had a great run through turn 1 and 2 there. So it's going to be very difficult for Alex to get that race win.
He's going for it. We're definitely giving him an A for effort here. Off of turn number 4, though, the white flag will wave now for Logan Clampett. Just 1.5 miles left to get it done, and just 1.5 miles for Alex Bergeron to close the door.
Yeah, it's just 1.5 miles. Now they work their way through 1 and 2. Looks like the 44 had a good turn there. Looks like the 01 had a pretty good turn. Now it's going to see who got the best run. The 44 actually gets loose, and it just looks like the 01 just doesn't have enough racetrack or enough actually time or laps to get to him. He actually makes a real hard dive off into 3 and 4, but I just think the 44 is just going to get him out of 4.
He definitely is. Off of turn 4, give the win. Logan Clampett here at Las Vegas is steal the thunder from the Chase Race drivers. He gets the job done and wins here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Logan Clampett, class of the field here tonight, but got to give a huge shout out to Alex Bergeron there in that second spot. Did a fantastic job here tonight with a great opportunity to get the job done. And we talked about early in the race, he didn't really put any pressure on that 44. The only real pressure we saw halfway through that race was Chad Coleman putting it to Logan Clampett. But I'll tell you what, towards the end here, definitely that pit stop, that last pit stop, Alex Bergeron, Logan Clampett, both of those drivers came down the same time, and they gave it their all the way to the end of this one. So Logan Clampett, he'll burn him down on the front stretch. How about it? He's the winner here at Las Vegas. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to the rest of the top 3 finishers in just a moment as the LSRTV post-race show continues right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live.
It was interesting this morning to come out here and get on the track and look closely at how rubber was starting to kind of take to the track, you know, where there were ruts and spots that looked still like dirt, and other spots were super shiny and had a bluish tint.
We scanned this track twice because we needed to be able to measure the differences between the track before it's raced and after it's raced. With dirt track racing, the dynamics of the track change dramatically once it's raced on throughout the race. And by scanning it beforehand, we were able to gain a baseline that we're now able to compare with the scan from after the race. Take a look at the cushion, see where it's built up, see how deep it is, and try to figure out some of these variables that we'll have to account for when we create our digital representations of dirt racing and dirt tracks. Our associate producer, Kevin Einarelli, was actually quite the soldier, and he stayed here all night scanning so that we could get this second scan, because in the morning after the race, they ripped the track up. So the window that we have to collect that data is very limited. So thanks, Kevin. So we had a similar approach with the photography of this track that we had with the laser scan. We photographed it twice. So we were able to get in here right before the race started, right after all the trucks had finished running the track in, and take reference photography of the track. And then we returned today and took another set of reference photography, and we took photos of all the various elements that we need to account for: the cushion, the groove, the areas of the groove that have received rubber, and the apron. And we have a specific technique that we use to take these shots. We are using something called photogrammetry. What photogrammetry is essentially the science or a method which will allow us to take photographs and extract three-dimensionality from them using common elements between the photographs. And it's a great technique to create textures for our racing sim, and it's something we've been doing for a while, but it's especially helpful with dirt because of the three-dimensional characteristics of the dirt and the way it collects. So it's a really good technique, and it should result in a great looking racetrack.
A lot of what I'm seeing kind of confirms what we already believed and already knew and have already started working on. So, you know, my plan is to get together with Dave Kamer and get in detail about what's going on between the tire and the road, because the ruts seem to be a significant piece of the puzzle where the rubber shows up on top of the rut. So getting the tire grip correct on a track that has as much variation as a dirt track does is going to be key.
We know that every racetrack, every dirt racetrack is unique. Different soil compositions, different color, different types of grooves developed depending on the different types of cars. So this process that we've gone through this weekend is not going to be a one-off thing. We're going to do it again, increase our knowledge, and we'll take that knowledge home with us, and it will help us create a better version of these tracks in iRacing.
Welcome me back to Las Vegas for the LSRTV post-race show, where we'll talk to the top 3 finishers here tonight. But just before we do that, let's take a look at your full field rundown. Logan Clampett picking up the big W here tonight. Alex Bergeron came home in second. Chad Coleman finished in that third spot. Bentley Glazer comes home in the fourth. Top 5 for J.D. Laird. Tommy Ryan, a great run for him as well. 6th place here tonight. 7th goes to Tyler Dalton. Paul Cooper will finish in the 8th spot. How about a 9th place finish for E.J. O'Rourke? Dory Woods, he'll round out your top 10.
And coming home in 11th is Garrett Smithley with that risky race strategy. It did kind of pay off for him. He got a few spots, fought his way back up there, and just missed it. Just barely missed it out top 10, though. Finishing behind them in 12th is Richard Beasley. In 13th goes to the 3 of Stephen O'Rourke. Alan Cryer will finish in 14th. The 00 of Larry Pace in 15th. 16th goes to Justin Weaver. The 12 of Tyler King finishes in 17th, and he will be the last car in the lead lap. John Wilco will finish a lap down 18th. 19th to Seth Foudy, and the last car in the top 20 is Ray Rittenauer the second.
21st is your first driver. 2 laps down is Jake Simmons. 22nd is 7 laps down. That would be Greg McKinney. 23rd, 19 laps down is Rich Jett. 24th is Jeff Hollingsworth. 37 laps down. And the 2 guys who finished behind the garage tonight, in the garage, is 92. We actually talked about him a lot, of Tony Mong tonight. He was really fast at the beginning. Got loose off the corner, and that's all she wrote for him. And then 26, 84 laps down is Cody Welker.
So now I'm down here in Gatorade Victory Lane looking to talk to our winner here tonight. Of course, Logan Clampett getting the job done. Dominating performance for the driver of the number 44. Logan, congratulations on getting the win here. Second one now in 4 weeks for you. Of course, Chicagoland coming just a little bit ago. Chicagoland, Las Vegas, pretty similar tracks. You showed some about the same type of strategy and the same type of speed out of your race truck tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty loose on exit there, and yeah, I guess it's kind of like Chicagoland. I mean, it's almost a mile and a half or so, and I really like these tracks. They're really fun, and the setup was my taste. I really liked the setup, and I took a little less fuel there to tighten it up. I'm sure others did too, just like I did at Chicagoland.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun race. It looked like early on he kind of pulled away. Had a little bit of, I wouldn't say pressure from that 01 earlier on. He had some problems on pit road with the speeding penalty. Sent him back to the field. Were you surprised to see that 01 after that final pit stop, that was the guy you're going to be battling for that win?
Yeah, I thought he was going to burn up his tires really bad there, but I guess he didn't, and he made a good comeback after speeding on pit road and for it staying green pretty much all the way.
Yeah, it was a pretty good battle there. We saw a little bit of pressure as well about midway through the race from that 20 of Chad Coleman. But you come in here tonight, Las Vegas, obviously not contending for the championship amongst these guys in the chase, but here to steal some thunder from these guys. Obviously, when you come to the racetrack running a limited schedule, it's all about coming out and trying to get those W's.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's nothing wrong with that. Straight to the point. Logan Clampett gets the win here tonight. Stick around talking to us, Logan, though. We'll give you this opportunity. Sponsor shout-outs. Who helps you get that 44 here?
Just thanks to HPM. We had an awesome run last night in Peak, actually. So thank you to them for all they've done this season in Peak. And, of course, you guys for broadcasting, and JD, Brian, for officiating, running this series. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's definitely been fun to watch you run your limited schedule here. Third win on the season to get it done here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Congratulations again, Logan.
Thank you.
There you have it, our winner here tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He gets the job done, gets it done in dominating fashion, but not without a little bit of pressure from these next two guys. How about Alex Bergeron? I think he's caught up now with Kelly Dahl.
Yeah, I'm here now with Alex Bergeron, our second place finisher of the night. Alex, we've seen you running up front quite a few times, but you haven't quite been able to find the victory lane yet this season. What do you think is missing that you just need to push you up into that lead position?
I think it's more about chance and being in a good spot at the end, in a good position to get the win, but I was not trying to do any dirty move or something else to Logan. I mean, just if I was getting the opportunity to win, I would have done, but I mean, he did a great job. And
yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, I did. I get a new L penalty on the first caution, I think, and I was back of the pack and made a comment. Pretty happy with a second place finish.
Yeah, talking about that EOL penalty, that happened quite early on in the race, and that put you way back there. What did you have to deal with to put that out of your mind and work your way back up?
I mean, it's gaining any position you can, and each lap gaining a position at least, and it's worked, and that's it.
You definitely made it work tonight. Those trucks look very difficult out there. What did you guys have to deal with as your tires wore off and the laps dragged on in your green flag runs?
I'd say it's more about throttle control on the turn 4. Pretty much. Turn 1 and 2 was pretty good, at least, pretty tight. But once you're running the I line in turn 1 and 2, it's pretty decent. But turn 3 and 4, you cannot run the I line too much, so it's kind of throttle control. That's pretty much it.
Well, I'll give you a chance now to thank any sponsors or teammates that you have out there tonight.
First, I would like to thank Miro Inc. And I'd like to thank also Greg Chall for spotting tonight, like every week. And and everyone at Apex Racing UK for support and teammates.
Bankos Alex, Bandwit. Hope to see you again next week.
Merci.
Alright, that was Alex Bergeron, our second place finisher of the night. He had a great gap over our third place finisher, Chad Coleman, who I believe is now standing there with Daniel Eberhardt.
Yeah, I'm down here with the third place finisher, Chad Coleman. Chad, in the middle of the race, you look like you were going to give Logan Clampett a little run for his money. It just looked like you just burned him up a little bit too soon, and you kind of ran second and third all night long. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, we the middle of the race right there, Logan was saving a little bit, I was saving a little bit, and then, I slid the rear of the truck a couple of times and I got loose, and once you slide the rear end a few times with the setup the way it was hard to get it back. And so right there at the end, it's pretty much the same thing. We come out of the pits, ran hard for about 5 or 6 laps, and then it just gave up all the lateral grip it had. We didn't have much with the front or the rear. We just go in the corner and want to slide.
How loose was it out there tonight? It looked like everybody was battling off an exit, just the rear end trying to come around with them. Was it as bad as it looked?
It wasn't like a prolonged slide. What was getting everybody, I think, was it'd get snappy. It'd come up out of the hole and it'd want to unload real quick. And if you weren't ready for it could get away from you. And I'm pretty sure, I didn't see many people do it, but I'm pretty sure y'all had a few people go down through the grass on the front straightaway and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean it wasn't too bad. It's heating the right rear up about probably around 20 degrees hotter than the right front, and probably about 3 to 4% more tire wear. But it wasn't real bad. It was controllable. It just, if you ran your stuff too hard too early, it wouldn't come back.
Well, Chad, it was a great run for you tonight. You obviously probably know this. You were the highest chase racer that finished tonight, and you finished third. So that's going to put you in good terms going to Talladega. How do you feel going into Talladega with the points you have over the rest of the chase racers?
Not very good. About the only way you could feel good about going to Talladega with any kind of points chase is to have a win and not have to worry about it. So we'll go to Dega, do our normal deal. Hopefully, keep our nose out of other people's issues and try to get a good finish and go on to the next round.
Well, let's say you make it through Talladega and you go on to the next round. What races do you feel that are going to be good for you to go into the next round?
Martinsville's kind of Martinsville, Phoenix, and Texas. So, Martinsville's kind of a crapshoot. It depends on if you get run over and how it plays out at the end with track position. Phoenix will be okay there. Texas, I really like. I think I'd have a shot to win Texas if everything falls the way it should. So, I guess hopefully run good at Martinsville, run good at Phoenix, and then go to Texas and just try to win one or just get a good enough race to be in the Final Four.
Well, Chad, we know you don't do it by yourself, getting that Jack Daniels Chevy Silverado around the track. Who would you like to thank out there?
I gotta thank, of course, JD Laird and Brian Schoenburg and everybody for the league, for ASCORS. Thank you guys for broadcasting, and thank Jeremy Enoch for the paint scheme on this truck with Elite Racing Designs, or Elite Graphics, something like that anyway. But that's about it.
Well, that's your third place finisher, Chad Coleman, and Chad, thanks for talking to us.
Yep.
Well, now I'm going to send it back up to Andy Kessler.
That's right. What a fantastic chase race number 2 for these guys here. And like we had mentioned earlier on, besides Logan Clampett, Alex Bergeron kind of stealing the show from these chase guys, Kelly, we saw 7 of the 12 finish in the top 10 again here tonight, just like we saw at New Hampshire 1 week ago. So I definitely like what's been going on. I think obviously the chase guys, they're in the chase for a reason. They've been good. They've been consistent all season long. I think it's showing even more here in the chase.
Yeah, we've definitely had some exciting competition through these first 2 races, and I'm really interested to see how this is going to shape up once we get to Homestead. I think we're going to have a fantastic set of 4 racing at that venue, and I wouldn't be surprised if those 4 finish 1, 2, 3, 4 when we get to Homestead.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be a great way to finish out this season, but plenty of races still left to go. How about next week? Talladega Super Speedway. Just a fantastic venue, and just a place where just about everybody is going to have their heart up in their throat all race long, just hoping that they don't come out on the bad end of anything at Talladega. That should be a fun one, of course, next week, right here, Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live. For more information on anything with LSRTV, visit us at livesimracing.com. You can check out our full broadcast schedule, including everything that goes on, including how about Friday night with the Super Speedway Cup Series getting back under action after we just crowned a champion. They're not wasting any time. Back in action this Friday night, as well as the United Sim Racing Truck Series. Their chase continues this Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on LSRTV. We want to thank ASCORS, SegPay, of course, for sponsoring this, Garrett Smithley Trucking as well for this series and everything else. I want to thank everyone who's behind the scenes at LSRTV and our broadcast crew tonight, including myself, Andy Kessler, Daniel Everhart, Kelly Dahl, and our lovely and talented producer, Cisco Scaramuza, getting that picture to you. I want to thank everyone and wish you all the best. Congratulate Logan Clampett on his big win here at Las Vegas. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented under the authority of LSRTV LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations and may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form, nor the accounts and descriptions of this event disseminated in any way without the express written permission of Live Sim Racing TV. LSRTV would like to thank its loyal fans for their continued support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.